Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Unfortunately, today I'm going to be talking about a more serious issue that has plagued the War of Rights community over the past week or two, and it involves drama. And that drama is the 15th Alabama Regiment has gone around and has harassed, but more importantly, started doxing members within the community, and it appears that they have started doxing the developer team, including starting to threaten class action lawsuits against them over disagreements and issues that the 15th Alabama caused to happen in the first place. Now, obviously, that is a very bold accusation, and the point of this video is to go into the context that has led up to the moment that we're in, the actions that have been taken against people, and also what my opinions are, including what we should do going forward. Now, again, I don't like talking about drama. The point of this channel is to just broadcast War of Rights to show you what's happening during a battle that you played in, hopefully help you improve, and also just show people on the internet a side of War of Rights that we don't normally see. However, because of the situation that I just described being so serious, I think it is utterly necessary to talk about this so that we as a community can come together on this and push back against this type of behavior, because it is unacceptable and it should not be encouraged or allowed. So again, we'll be going over the context, then I'll be talking about what's happened with that context in mind, and then my opinion and what we should do going forward. So to put context on this whole thing is, in War of Rights, you generally have two communities. You have a regimental / private event scene, and then you have a pubby or public match scene. Now on this channel, I exclusively, outside of the once a week public match for YouTube members, I cover the regimental / private event side of things. You know, it's just a group of people. They form their own regiments or clans, whatever you want to call them. And they all come together at a certain time and a certain day and say, we're going to play a match with this set of rules. And it's great. It's some of the best War of Rights gameplay. And if you're going to get this game, join a regiment. Don't rely on the pubs, which I'll talk about in a second. So the public side of things, though, it's just you can hop on War of Rights whenever, join a server with no password on it, and do whatever you want on there. You're an individual. You're not a part of the group. And in my opinion, the gameplay isn't as good, and there's a lot more toxicity that can accrue there sometimes. But that's neither here or there. That's just my opinion. So the issues or the drama that is really starting to hit a boiling point is happening in the pubs right now. And I think this whole conflict starts because War of Rights is not insanely a popular game. And because the server sizes can get up to 400 now, which is a feat of its own, the issue is that War of Rights never, outside of private and regimental matches, I'm just talking about public matches, War of Rights never has more than one active server. And so, as a result, you have people trying to vie for control, if you want to put it that way, or just take in charge of the pubs to lead it in a certain direction, apply rules, have people adminning it, and so forth. And the issue that this can create is that if a group of people disagree with the powers that be, for whatever reason that may be, they can try to forcefully take the pop. Now, how do you do that? Late at night, a lot of people hop off, or the servers do a little reset. I don't entirely know. I'm not too deep into any of this. But regardless of that, if you have more people on by the time the morning arises and people start playing the game, the people will see that your server has the highest pop. They'll hop onto your server, and then at that point, you have control of the population or the public matches for a whole day, essentially. And with that, you can do whatever you want. You can run the server how you want. You can recruit how you want. You can ban people who you want. And so it's a pretty good opportunity to take control of the pubs. Now, this has happened numerous times in the past. People have attempted it. Originally, the powers that be were the public officer coordination. Matthias ran all of that, but he retired as of late. And then so taking over that has been the Players United based servers run by El Padrino. And so those two powers, as I've talked about, have kind of been the main go-to guys for running the pubs. There's been groups that have tried to take over it. They'll take over it for, a couple days or so, but they aren't able to consistently do it over the long run, or a peace agreement is made so that it stops, so that things can stay civil. However, as of late, the drama related to this has gotten too much. The last thing I'll say before talking about the actual situation is that I'll talk about the situation as I have seen it, the timeline, the facts with it, and then I'll talk about my opinion at the end to keep those two things separate. But what started this whole thing off was on November 5th, 2025, when El Padrino did a ping out to everyone in their Discord server saying Big Sexy from the 15th Alabama, he's, I think, the leader of 15th Alabama, got outright banned from all public servers. And on top of this, El Padrino said they don't like to ban people. They want to give people second chances. And he also named the 3 other people who are currently permabanned and why they're permabanned. But you might be asking, why was Big Sexy banned from the pubs? And the reason is that he took a photo of someone well known within the War of Rights community from a Twitch live stream back in what I was told was 2017, took that photo, made it his profile picture, and then proceeded to organize raids against the victim of this situation to try and get back on them. It is also important to note that Big Sexy was asked numerous times to remove the profile picture, but he did not. And so as a result of this, whether you want to call it doxing, impersonation, or harassment, he was outright permabanned from the pub scene. The reaction from this post was there were some rumblings within the public server that I noticed anyways, but the biggest thing that happened as a result of this was the 15th Alabama got banned from the NA Saturday night event that they play in, which is the Tennessee River campaign, because of that doxing situation, using someone else's profile picture when asked not to and trying to harass. But I think some greater context on the 15th Alabama is they have been shunned and banned from a lot of the events in the community, and a lot of people don't like these guys. They're a very, very edgy group of people, and they've been banned for things in the past, slurs, harassment, some more things that I probably don't know off the top of my head, but that's just some context on that. You can agree or disagree whether some of those bans are justified or not, but that's why they've been banned. And the turning point of this situation was around November 12th. At least on that day, I got a ping from Big Sexy within the Battleline Network Discord asking to join their newest server, the United Players Official Discord. Now, this Discord is supposed to be comprised of a group of people to help take the pubs back, to overthrow essentially the current powers that be, and allow people who have been banned, like Big Sexy, to play the game. And their plan started. They first started by review bombing the game itself on Steam, and then on top of that, were able to take control of the pubs for a few days to allow for people like Big Sexy to play the game. And this did happen. Something I did hear, I don't have proof of this, but I heard people that oppose the 15th Alabama group and company were getting banned when trying to go on that 15th Alabama public server. And after a few days of this struggle for control of the pop, the 15th Alabama Big Sexy announced that they were going to hold the pop permanently. This wasn't going to be a short-term thing. This was going to happen, and it's going to happen for forever. And on top of that, other members of the 15th Alabama, Cheddar Bob, said in DMs that he was going to buy the game for numerous other people so that they could support in the 15th Alabama's effort of keeping their server popped. And as mentioned earlier, the 15th Alabama isn't well liked within the community, whether it be the racism, the slurs, the over-the-top edgy jokes. I mean, there's clips of the 15th Alabama that have circled around the entire community of their leaders in a public match saying a bunch of slurs in a row and then trying to coax people into saying it in the voice chat, as they say exactly in the clip itself. They're like, you could say it in VC. Now, I would put the clip here, but I also want to keep posting on YouTube, which is why I don't. But because of all of the reasons mentioned a moment ago, anonymous person number 2 reported the 15th Alabama War of Rights server to the G-Portal hosting server website. And as a response to this, G-Portal restarted their server, so it's still up and live to this moment. And they said that they would start an active investigation of the situation. Now, I don't know to what extent that investigation has gone through, but I do know they started looking into it. But the bigger thing out of this is that the 15th Alabama figured out who anonymous person number 2 was, ended up putting them up on trial within their Players United Discord, and overwhelmingly voted to ban anonymous person number 2. And then furthermore, they ended up finding this guy's Twitch stream, or Twitch link, whatever you want to call it. And they were able to find real life information about him, therefore doxing now a second person within this timeline. And that leads me to where I'm at right now, November 23rd at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time, with the devs pinging out a few hours earlier today on November 23rd saying, "Hello everyone, we are aware of a coordinated effort by individuals engaging in harassment activities, including targeted review bombing and attempts to reveal or distribute personal information about members of our team and community. These actions are serious violations of our terms and service and of the platform policies we operate under. We want to be clear. Harassment, coordinated attacks, and doxing will not be tolerated. We have already taken enforcement actions on the accounts involved and are continuing to work with platform partners to address the review manipulation and remove harmful content. The safety and well-being of our players and developers are our highest priority. If you encounter attempts to spread personal information or other abusive behavior, please report it immediately through the official in-game or platform reporting channels. We will continue to monitor the situation and take further action as needed." And since recording this, I've been informed that a guy named 6 Million Pies, he was one of the guys originally permabanned on the pub servers, has doxed 2 more people that are involved within the current pub server staff. And I think what's even wilder about this is that through a Reddit post and also other sources through DMs have shown that the 15th Alabama guys are trying to, or at least threatening to do a lawsuit against Campfire Games for whatever reason that may be, and the details of that, I don't know anything. I just know threats have been made. And let me just say, this is now the opinion part of the video, but I fully disavow every action taken by 15th Alabama in this situation. It is unacceptable to dox even one person, but the fact that numerous people have been doxed and there's been justification for it is terrible. I'll show that in a second, but just as a reminder, right? You had the first person who Big Sexy used as their profile picture and didn't remove it. You have the anonymous person number 2, which was the guy who reported the 15th Alabama's G-Portal server. They figured out his information and spread it around. And then if you read the developers ping this morning, they mentioned that members of the development team, there's been attempts to dox them or they have been doxed. So there's been a minimum of at least 2 people that have been doxed out of this whole thing. And that is horrendously terrible. It should not happen over War of Rights petty drama. This is terrible. And the worst part about it is they're justifying it. I'll give you an example. So anonymous person number 2, someone mentioned that it's creepy to do a deep dive like that, mentioning someone's real life name online to a bunch of people who you don't know. That'd be pretty scary. And I agree. The response from Cheddarbob, which is one of the 15th Alabama's leaders, says it's not much of a deep dive to click on someone's Discord profile picture and go to that person's Twitch link to see all the information there. Doing that's fine by me. Which is an insane way to justify doing that. Sure, people link stuff, but you shouldn't go around giving that information out. Sure, you can argue that maybe putting your public information publicly like that is not a smart decision, but you still shouldn't be going around trying to look for that information and then procedurally just spread that information around. That is just highly unacceptable. Now, the question going forward is what can we do as a community? Now, when it comes to like 15th Alabama running a public server, that's nothing that any of us can do outside of the developers and G-Portal shutting that down, which that is out of our hands. So it's more of a question of what can we do practically, right? And I think if you are associated or within the 15th Alabama regiment itself, you need to leave that group as soon as you can. Even if that group, or there are guys within the group that are a lot of fun to hang out with. Because by you associating or staying within these groups, you are saying that I am fine with this behavior done by my leaders. And the question I propose is, what happens if you get in a disagreement with these guys? Are they going to dox you next? Because they've justified doxing people already. So it's a real question I would propose to some people within the 15th Alabama. Because at least for me personally, I would want to be 10 miles away, probably even longer away from people that do these type of things. Now, the last question of this is, what should we do as a community to react to this within what we can handle? And I normally don't like saying this type of stuff, and I don't like doing it because, someone making an edgy joke, whatever, in my opinion. But I think this goes way too far, the doxing behavior here, and the actions taken, and the justification of it as well. And so the verbal reaction of, hey, this is bad, has not been enough. So there needs to be action behind this. Now, if a leader of a 15th Alabama goes into a public match that isn't the 15th Alabama server, they should outright be banned. When it comes to events, 15th Alabama should be banned from them. Now, it sucks that the private who doesn't do anything in 15th Alabama has to get banned and not able to play an event. But I think that goes back to what I said a minute ago in terms of, do you really want to be associated with a group that is accepting of this? And so I really think that's the course of action at this point, because this type of behavior cannot be accepted. And when it is initially starting and you let it survive and have some oxygen to breathe some air, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse before it ever gets better. So that's at least my take on it. One last thing I wanted to mention that I didn't mention there as well, but if a good faith effort to apologize and move on is offered by the people doing the doxing, I think we should try to accept that and move forward, but obviously be cautious as to not have this repeat. So last thing I'll say is, feel free to discuss about all of this within the comment section itself. If you support or defend this behavior, your comment's going to be deleted, or I might put it as the pin of shame. Who knows? But feel free to discuss about it nonetheless. Again, the hope of this channel is to help promote and make War of Rights better. And so hopefully this will be the only video on this. I'm not going to put any ads on it. If there is, that's YouTube just doing its thing. But I will say that I don't hate or dislike the 15th Alabama. I hate the action, and that's why I'm calling it out. I still love them as individuals, and hope that, they can see the error of their ways, and we can move on from there as a better community. So Thanksgiving's coming up. We'll not be posting at least any broadcast this weekend. I will, though, be posting condensed broadcast highlights and going to start doing those funk little short edits again. But yeah, this stuff is not fun, and hopefully we never have to deal with it again. Anyways, God bless. See you in the next one, and have a wonderful rest of your night.